got news for you. Yes, I do. I'm like your angel of love, girl. I've come to see you through. So when you cry, let me wipe your tears. When you're scared, I wanna be there to calm your fears. When you're in need, baby, ring my phone. I'll run right over and we'll make love all night long.
What it is, what it is, what it is.
What's happening, Captain?
What up?
What's going on? What's happening?
Who building something? What is that? No,
What is what?
It sounds like Bumblebee
Like
the
Staples
Transformer.
or
Sound like-
Staples or something.
Yeah, like Bumblebee the Transformer is
That's your chair creeping because you know you was out last week and you done gained a little weight. Not taking the shot. That's what's happening.
Hey, you know what? I wish you were fibbing, but yeah, the thickness is upon me right about now. And I'm
That's
not.
all right. Women like Husky. Husky is back in. Husky men are back in. Sean,
Well, you know, well, you know, Husky is
Sean
Husky
at large. That's your new name.
Husky is in during the winter months always. Anyway, how y'all doing, man?
Doing good. Doing good. Doing great.
My good man, Christopher Payne.
What's up, brother?
How are you, sir? Good to see you, man. Good to have you back. You may have set the record for returning the quickest. We usually have folk wait a little while to come back to the cave, but we like you.
Well,
So
I'm smart, I'm attractive, and damn it, people like me.
That's right. And
That's from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. Ooh, Mel. Go give
And,
Mel a point.
and you have
Hey, Glenn, shut up.
I like that. Hey, Glenn, shut up.
Yeah, no. Mel. Mel's like an old man. Shut up. Shut up.
750.
Get off my lawn.
I know. Get off my line, you crazy kids. Mel sitting up in shorts, dress socks, and sandals.
Hey man, ladies, if you're watching, you want to hang out because Chris has a something very special for the ladies specifically.
Oh, I thought Robert was gonna strip again.
Oh, no, I said special.
okay.
Not special education.
That's all right. I'll get you later.
Hey, Kimberly A. King. So ladies, yes, please make sure you hang out till the very end because Chris came bearing gifts. So he has something special for the lady viewership at the end of the show. I do think there's a certain little something that was put together for you, wasn't there, brother? Did the resident alpha? I thought he put together something for you. Did you put together something for Chris real quick, or is that for later, Raj? Oh, okay.
Later.
Is that okay? Is that at
we
the
talked
30?
about before the show?
See? Yes.
Hey, look here. I have a lot of responsibilities.
Yeah.
I didn't remind it because it's not in my contract to be able to have to talk to y'all before the show. I only need to talk to y'all on the show.
First of all, Glenn, you look like you sitting in somebody's washing machine. It's all dark and lonely. You know, like the rest of your life, dark and lonely. It's
It's called setting the mood, Sean. That's what it's called.
The move
There's
for
a
a
hair-
serial killer. Awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, joining the show, if you stick around long enough, eventually we get to a great topic of discussion.
right, eventually, right. Glenn, you like almost a hair care product, dark and lovely, but you dark and lonely.
Ooh, Sean, you thought about that one for a while, didn't you?
No, I came off the dome. I'm pretty quick
Okay.
sometimes.
Off the dome. Yeah, that's the
Anyway,
problem.
hey,
That's
man,
part of the problem.
I know that there's probably very few, if any, first-time viewers, man. But real quick, because we've gotten away from doing it, let's round robin, and we'll save our good guest Christopher for last. Why don't you guys round robin? Introduce yourselves to the viewing audience. Let them know real quick what you do, where they can find you, all that good stuff. Dark and Lonely. Why don't we start with you? You're on mute like most lonely people. But go ahead.
Okay.
What man has Beyonce as their theme song?
It's not my theme song, but
Oh.
if you, it's not my theme
You
song.
can't tell the
fool.
way you just hey girl with your arm.
Fool.
Hey Mel,
I
he
was
gonna do the
snapping.
cuff it dance in a minute. He gonna
Mel, you've been married way too long. Did not know that Beyonce works. Oh, damn.
No, Mel's wife needs to know Beyonce. He don't need to know Beyonce.
That was the slow version of Cuff It for those of you that aren't in the know.
Hey
like
man,
Mel.
you were introducing yourself.
Oh,
Dark
my
and
bad.
Lonely.
I was listening to that. Yeah, I am Glenn Murray, the voice of reason for the show, the love doctor. The one.
First of all, I have to interrupt you. You hijacked that title from Mel.
I think you
Mel,
asked me to,
not that we agreed with it, but Mel was the original.
I thought
voice
you
of
asked me
reason.
to introduce myself, not
I
for
did,
you to
but
interrupt me
accurately.
while I'm doing it, Sean.
Accurately is
They said you'd be a terrible host. They said it. Anyway, Glenn Murray, owner of 220 Communications and Wine Crawl. Glad to be here. Thank you guys for joining. Happy to have you back, Chris. I'm done.
I'm currently in therapy for loneliness. Robert.
Hey, I'm Robert Hazard. Actually,
Hey,
I have a company called the Hazard Group. Are you going to interrupt me too? We do consulting.
I'm equal opportunity.
That's right, with small businesses. Hey, I've got some beautiful kids, Rachel and Brian, as well as some amazing grandkids. I am considered the lover of life, and I'm enjoying all of that and all it has to offer. Thank you all for watching us. We're excited. I'll turn it over back to the host.
Hey man, have you considered how frightening it must be for somebody to hire the Hazard Group?
So you do have jokes tonight.
I mean, it's
it's
just a thought. I mean, it's like,
if
really,
they want to get
is that what I really want to do? The Hazard.
He was off for 1 week and saw the show went so well, so he got to come back.
Right.
You know, that's
Y'all
what
were,
it
y'all
is.
were good. I did enjoy
He
y'all.
was
I
flowing and all of that.
Get up! You got to get up off of him. He has his own light named after him.
Who?
The lover of life.
The Hazard light.
The Hazard.
Throw your hazards on.
That was good.
Oh, he has his own light. Oh, light.
That
Hazard
was
light.
good,
Nice.
Chris. That was good.
Okay,
Mel Robertson,
Chris.
the total gent.
Greetings
Let me,
and salutations.
hey, look, let me
Chris.
talk to somebody who plays the right fraternity. I'm sorry.
I knew that was coming. Mel Robertson is my name, principal partner of the Robertson Resource Group, professional development specialist, myself along with my wife, 7-time Amazon bestselling author, and accomplished actor featured on several major network television shows, and an attendee of Chris's concealed carry class, where you learn the things that actually save your life in a gunfight.
So I heard, yeah, we're gonna get into that. We definitely gonna get into that. I am your humble host, Sean Mason. As Mel would say, I do a little of this, I do a little of that.
Humble.
Humble.
I am quite humble. I'd have you know, in all of my greatness. Funny story. I paused so y'all could crack a joke, but I still in front of my television. I have a little sign that my mother gave me when I was a child that says it's hard to be humble when you're as great as I am. It's like many years old, and I carry it around with me everywhere I go. But anyway, professional photographer, professional singer, best-selling Amazon author. I got some other stuff brewing, but that's it. Do a little of this, do a little of that. Christopher pew pew Payne, our guest for the second time. Chris, I could try to describe what you do, but take 60 seconds, man, while I cut the heat down in my place, and and tell the good people what you do, where they can find you, and then we're going to circle back to that later on.
Awesome. I don't know who said that was them, but I'm Chris Payne, and I am a chief instructor for Personal Protection Training Group. Our company does more than concealed carry. We do everything self-defense, everything from self-defense to home defense, close quarter combat, martial arts, you name it. We do it if it has anything to do with defense.
Yeah, man. Word on the street is you that thing. You that thing. So
You got guns, knives, shotguns, knives, rifles.
hey man, it's easy to come on and you know and pontificate and posture, but I heard you that real deal. So I can't wait to unpack that a little bit more.
All I can say is that door you kicked in was locked for your protection.
Yeah. Yeah, I told somebody today because their wife is a thug.
Really?
Let that sink in.
Yeah.
That wife probably told them, you know, I'm not out here. You worry about me being out here with them. They out here with me.
Wow.
I really thought that would go over a lot better than it did. But anyway,
Maybe I need to drink more. I'm not sure.
no, it's rare that you need to drink more. I got a chance to hang out with Robert a little bit at an event that I was shooting, so it's always good to get some personal time in with the brethren that's unplanned. Glenn, I'm gonna kick it off with you, man. Let's talk about the return of Brittney Griner, man. Let's. I know that there's some political posturing that was behind that. It's not really my forte. I'm glad that the young lady is back on America. Is she back on American soil yet?
I'm not sure. I know she's on her way though.
Yeah.
If she's not here, she's on her way.
Yeah.
Hey,
So,
do you think that when she gets back, the first place she's stopping is to go see our weed man? As soon as he opened his mouth, I knew that's what he was.
Touche.
Hey, Chris, is a weed man picking up from the airport?
The thoughts and opinions expressed on Live from the Cave do not necessarily express those of Mel
Can you throw
Roberson.
me in
You
there?
have said that
Can you
enough
throw me in
times,
that
Mel,
one?
that you're rhythm with it.
I'll give you this one, Glenn. Or Glenn Murray or any of the organizations and companies that we represent.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Every now and then I just need somebody to pinch hit that one for me. Okay.
Glenn,
I
talk
think
to
it's
me
good
about
news she
Brittney
got out because it was kind of a bogus charge. Although she was kind of guilty. But
Can't
the
be both.
trade for people are arguing about the trade being uneven because they sent a Russian arms dealer who was trying to blow up a lot of shit over here in exchange for her. And a lot of people thought they should have gotten, I guess his name is Paul Whelan. I think he's still in prison there, and he's been in prison for 4 years in Russia. But that probably wasn't the deal Russia was going to make for them. So
Yeah.
a lot of people are talking a lot of noise that don't know what they're talking about, which is pretty much like politics goes anyway. So that's all I know. That's all
I got it. So I got it so quick. I only kind of skimmed it, and I really wasn't understanding what the fuss was. But again, the way you put it, being our resident political expert,
I mean, they made a movie about the dude.
Really?
If they made a movie about him,
so they traded a basketball player for a dude that's got a whole movie about him.
right?
Wow, that's very interesting. Robert, did you have anything to impart about it?
No, I'm good. I've watched, but I mean,
Thanks for
Glenn
your help.
covered it all.
Thanks for your help, Robert.
Anytime.
Mel, what about you, sir?
Yeah, like I'm happy she's free.
Right.
I'm happy she's free. I think that at the end of the day, the charges were crazy.
That's what I was going to ask you. What do you think about the charges themselves?
With a prescription, and I get it. Every country has its own laws.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I got a concealed carry license for a lot of the states in America. I go to London, at best I can get a knife, hopefully. You know what I'm saying? Like
carry like a straight razor or something if you
so
not that I know
laws
that
here don't necessarily mean that we get to do what it is we get to do over here. I think the punishment should fit the crime, and 9 years was totally crazy. But
yeah,
I
that's
also
the interesting blurb we just saw that it was supposed to be
15 days.
15 days. Like, do we?
Yeah,
know?
and they were sending her to a labor camp. She was going to do hard time.
Is that the max though? Is that the max? And with the amount, I don't know. Is it if 15 days the minimum and 9 years the maximum? Just like we got minimum and maximum. Like at the end of the day, yes, she shouldn't have been locked up at all based on our personal beliefs and what we think about based on the laws of our country and all of that other stuff. I mean, it was bogus. You know what I'm saying? She was a chip. She was a pawn. She was something to use, right? Because of her level of popularity, being an all-star basketball player and all of that other stuff. Yeah. I do think that like the trade was like, you know, if Jordan was still playing for the Bulls and we traded Sean for Michael Jordan, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's so funny. I can't even be mad. That's funny.
You know, but Russia got what they wanted and we got her back. So for that, I'm grateful.
I'd take Sean and a hat to be named later.
Chris Payne, you have anything on it, man?
You know, you guys pretty much hit on everything. While we don't believe that was something to be locked up, especially that long over the you know, that's not the law of their land. And you know, maybe she shouldn't have been over there doing that. But you know, she learned. As they say, you're gonna learn today. She yeah. So
I think at the end of the day, I think it becomes a punishment fitting the crime issue, because you know that's something you can confiscate. You know, I remember traveling some years ago, and because I used to do security work for hospitals, I paid my way through college as a security officer for hospitals, and I became fond of expandable batons, and so I always kept one. Kept one in my car under my seat, different places. And I was traveling one day and had one in my briefcase, in my laptop briefcase, and forgot to take it out, you know. And I mean, they could really see that as a tool that I could have been intending to do violence with, you know. And all they did was confiscate it. You know, it's like I still miss that thing, but you know, that's the kind of thing.
You can get another one.
I need another one, an asp. And I loved my asp, but I got to say that really slow. Yeah, I think that was more the punishment doesn't really fit the crime, and you know, what's your real goal here with a punishment that extensive? But
an arms dealer back. That was the goal. That was the goal.
Yeah.
They needed their Michael Jordan back, and she was their Sean Mason.
I will take that. Hey man, I'm not gonna lie. I really have wanted for the last couple of days to talk to you guys about this particular subject. Deion Sanders. I want to talk about Deion. I don't know if I should share my opinion first or last. Maybe I'll do. Well, no. Yeah. Chris, you kind of nodded your head when I mentioned it. You have any?
No, somebody else go first. I'm good.
I'm coming out both guns blazing on mine. I know that most of our viewership are POCs, so I'm holding nothing back when I come with mine. Mel, you got any thoughts on Deion?
Sure. So Deion took a position for $300,000 a year at Jackson State University. When he got there, he spoke a lot about the disparities that historically Black colleges face, not having the resources and kids not wanting to go to those types of schools because of the resources, facilities, so forth and so on. I don't think we've ever had a historically Black college or university as a national champ. Sometimes they make it to bowl games, but at the end of the day, generally they don't compete at a level of a Bama or a Michigan State or a USC or, you know, Ohio State for that matter. Deion brought up some really good points when he started there and the mission and being able to do that. If he was just mission oriented and all he wanted to do was start leveling the playing field for HBCUs, then that would have been a good mission and he could have led the charge. At the same time, a man's responsibility to take care of his family and his legacy. I don't know what the school could have done to be able to try to match that type of income that Colorado is providing, which, by the way, somebody posted on Facebook. I haven't looked too much into it. They say they got him on layaway. They said Colorado made this promise, but they don't have all of the money yet, and they're trying to secure it to have him be the coach.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, though, and I'm not much of a conspiracy theorist in the sense, but you got to think about the fact that if Deion would have led that mission, it could have disrupted the collegiate football system. And a lot of these top picks would have started going to schools that aren't the powerhouse schools. So some way, somehow, if I was a conspiracy theorist, there's this thing where, oh yeah, we can't let him do that. What's it going to take to get him out? $3 million.
Who is that?
Here you go.
Who is that cursing? Is that Raj?
No, curses.
Yeah. So, you know, I think it's the athletic director's responsibility to go after television, you know, that whole department, that whole team, to go after television and sponsorships and all of these things that help contribute to the funding of that. As with anything, when it comes to anything historically Black, we're behind the 8 ball. You know, they had so many years of free labor and all of these other things before we even started to try to get on the same page as them. You know, that we had all of these years of psychological trauma, no jobs, no wages. By the time they introduced integration, the majority, we were the minority. The majority owned all of the wealth, all of the businesses, the companies, all of this stuff. And they're like, all right, let's integrate and everybody's equal. Well, we're not equal when you got years, hundreds of years of a head start on us. We're not on a level playing field.
The same template as affirmative action. Yeah.
I mean, so, you know, do I knock him for what he did? I can't say that I do personally. You know, if his contract was up and somebody else came along and wanted to offer him some money or whatever, if he wasn't mission driven to try to end the disparities and the differences between HBCUs and, you know, the Bamas and Michigan states and Ohio states and Miami and Georgia and all of these other schools, if that wasn't his mission, then work, get paid.
Robert Hazard, what do you think, man?
I think Mel hit on everything, but I think that one of the things that there's always something behind the scenes, right? He's done, you know, a great thing, but at the end of the day, as Mel said, it does come down to dollars and cents. I think we are focusing on, you know, wanting him to stay because he has done some great things, but it's big picture, and the attention that he's given by doing the things that he's done is, I think there was something that talked about if there was a money issue, we could have donated more money to Jackson State. There, some of the billionaires and millionaires could have done some of those things. You know, when it was, what was it, Giving Tuesday? And we wait to the last minute to kind of look at those things. I think that what he's done is good for him, but I also think it's good for Jackson State. There was a couple articles that came out in the news. None of them have been confirmed, but they talked about there was some mismanaging of funds and things like that by Jackson State, and that could have had something to do with why he left. The truth will come out eventually, but hey, he's done some great things. Let's move on.
Glenn.
Here's what I'll say. Let me talk for 1 second. As much as Glenn loves this show and the people that produce it, if The View came along today and said,
right, and told Glenn we're gonna pay you $3 million,
right?
like,
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wouldn't even do the middle finger. Y'all only get one finger.
$3
This is right here. This is how many
instead of
I'm
the
making.
300,000 you making on Live from the Cave.
Right.
He would
My
be on the
contract would be
sitting
that the
next to
contract
Whoopi.
renegotiation would be done. We wouldn't even have to worry
He would
about
be
that.
sitting next to Whoopi.
But
Wait a
no,
minute. Is he involved on this show?
That was a joke.
that was a joke.
Okay, that's. I just wanted to know.
But
Chris like, where's my check? What is the guest?
he got kicked out then. He won't be invited
Yes,
back now.
yes.
He'll be asking for
What
money.
is the guest fee?
I know, really. No, so here's what
I need a recurring role.
Here's my
Mel know about that.
we ain't paying SAG prices here on this show. Trust me.
I'm in local 1220.
SAG or SWAC.
Or union, none of that. We union busting.
Man, here's what it's just. I've watched a whole lot of, the criticizing crowd on social media.
Right.
And Roland Martin, man, has a really great piece on YouTube about
I heard that.
this
broke it
whole
down.
thing, man. And
About what?
But
Roland Martin has a really good piece about Deion's decision to go to Colorado.
But here's the thing, Sean.
Mhm.
Let's say I work for the Hazard Group for $300,000. I'm working in Robert's office and everything, and Robert's office is jacked up. Like he got one desk and everything. So I'm like, okay, Rob, you're gonna take half my salary and put it on the building and make improvements and everything else. Just don't worry about it. I'll just take half my salary, live off that. I'm good. And then I help him turn a 2,000% profit in like 2 years. So then Google calls me and wants to pay me $3 million. And Robert's like, oh, I can't believe you're going to leave me, you black man. Google going to let me come bring a team, hire more people, bring them up into the system and help them get jobs. That's basically what happened with Deion.
Yeah, that's all, man.
He helped Walmart. He rebuilt the field. He got Walmart to do that.
And the field was horrible.
He gave half his salary.
Injury plagued. They would have to practice in other places when it rained.
Right.
Yep.
He got the facility, rehab, the dressing room, and everything else. He gave up half his salary.
Renovated locker room.
Right. He works for
uniforms.
Right.
Remember uniforms.
Yeah.
And HBCUs, Mel talked about this, but HBCUs are never going to be on national championship. They're an FBS school. FBS means they're a level below FCS, the Alabamas, the Tennessees, the Illinois. So you're never going to win a national championship, but he got the number one player. He's the only coach ever to get the number one high school player in the country to go to an HBCU. He got his son, who was like a 4-star prospect there. He got 3 or 4 other 3- and 4-star prospects, which never has happened at a HBCU.
Because he comes with a certain,
he's a Hall of Famer
because of who he is.
He's one of the best cornerbacks that ever played the game. I didn't like him because he played for the Cowboys.
Yeah. Historically, they
played for Atlanta.
Yeah.
Historically, they say Deion would line up across from you and tell you the best way to beat him. And
he did everything. My point is, he did everything he was going to do. If people are really mad, then donate some money to an HBCU.
And that's kind of where
that's
kind of where I am with it. It's like it's a whole lot of people who don't even buy black, who don't even go out of their way to support black businesses, that want to sit back and criticize him for giving 3 years
of his life, of his livelihood. Yeah.
Underpaid. He could have gotten more money going somewhere else, even as a first-time coach. He went and changed the life and culture of that program. And then here's the funny thing: 70% of the players at Colorado are people of color. So he is still going to be uplifting and helping young black men. And who's to say with that $12 million that he won't still be helping Jackson State?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's
that's the point. That's the point. And I'm like, if you don't even, I bet you most of the people complaining they never even watched Jackson State play.
Never even watched Jackson State play. They look, they go to Starbucks instead of Sip and Savor every morning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you don't support, but you got time to criticize what he's doing and what he should have been doing and everything else. But I'm like, it's about livelihood. It's about opportunity. It's about the chance to pull somebody up and bring them into the Division One, the FCS, to be coaches. So he's bringing some of his coaches from Jackson State to give them their first chance.
Coaches will be millionaires in 6 to 7 years.
Right. So I'm so sick of his defensive coordinator makes $700,000 a year.
Yeah.
So that's how much money the difference is there. Yeah. And I'm sorry that, okay, it's black school and I get all of that, but money is green. Yeah. And it's gonna stay that color no matter what you say.
We are the only culture that thinks that you are supposed to forego your dreams and aspirations for the cause. Right. When in actuality, you can probably do more for the cause with the revenue you're gonna earn with these other aspirations.
Yeah, we get mad at the wrong things. Randy Stress just said it right. We get mad at the wrong things. Everybody that's mad, donate $1 to an HBCU.
Donate
$1. That's all you need to do. Donate $1
a year. Commit to $1 a year.
Yeah, they did a research, and I think it was less than 20% of the people that graduate from HBCUs give back to the HBCU.
Absolutely.
But you're mad at Deion, who gave 50% of what he earned
and stayed longer than most thought he would stay.
Exactly.
And then
won and was successful.
And was 100% candid with you at the outset. Yep. They asked him in the 60 Minutes interview, when the other big schools come calling, what are you going to do? He said, I'm going to have to entertain it.
Right.
He said, I'd be a fool not to.
He'd be a fool not to. His goal, if your goal is to coach, you want to coach at the highest level.
Man,
if you're at work, all of y'all that'll pass up 1,000% raise your hand right now.
Right.
I don't think his thing was to coach at the highest. Well, when you say the highest level, you mean the highest collegiate level.
The highest collegiate
level. He doesn't want to coach.
Yeah, because he could have been in the NFL as a coach by now.
Yeah, he doesn't want to.
Yeah, as an assistant. Yeah, but he gets to run the show, and so he was very smart and very shrewd in how he picked his path.
Well, most head coaches are former assistant coaches. So if he took an assistant coach job in the NFL, eventually he's going to get paid.
Eventually he would have gotten there. Yeah, for a head coaching position. But he just took a little bit of different path. But like I said, if you're going to pass up that kind of raise, if you're making, anybody that's out there making about $300,000 now and somebody offers you $3 million, you're going to pass it up because it's, oh no, I'm not going to work for the white man.
Right.
I'm going to work for the man.
He's made it clear that he doesn't want to coach in the NFL because the egos there are out of control. And so
he's a very old school type of coach.
Yeah. And the coach, a dude who's making 20 mil and don't want to work because he's being a diva, he said he'd go to jail. He wouldn't be able to do that. Hey man, it's 9:33 and the show goes fast. And it is time for a special announcement from our illustrious guest. Well, I guess the ultimate announcement isn't until the end of the show, but I think you got something to present right now, Roger. Do I have that right?
Are you afraid of what's lurking in the dark? Hi, I'm Chris with Personal Protection Training Group, and I'm a master firearms instructor. Yes, there is a difference. Come and see while we have the best defensive courses in the Midwest. We have a state-of-the-art use of force simulator with over 750 scenarios. We train in home defense, concealed carry, defensive pistols, close quarter combat, and martial arts. You've never had training like this before. Sitting in the class and taking notes is different than being in a live situation. What's taught in theory is difficult to put into practical application. We'll teach you how to defend yourself and your family, but most importantly, how to avoid threats altogether. We've been conducting real-world firearms training since 1993. Space is limited, so please secure your spot early. And don't forget to ask how to get a firearm with your concealed carry course.
All right, Chris. That's pretty dope, man. Production team, do we want to turn that corner now? Or do we want to wait a little bit or talk to me? I got one or two other things that we can. Okay, let's get it. Hey man, let's start it by talking about the couple of carjackings that were in the news, as well as the no bail law that's going on, and we'll tie that into what Chris is bringing to the show that evening. I've only heard a few things about the no bail law. I felt like it was probably being misrepresented. Hey, Wendy Pugh. I thought it was being misrepresented, but I can't say that for sure. But I just felt like it was there was so much political posturing behind it. And nowadays it seems like with the whole political thing, you can't count on anybody to be telling you the truth about anything. And I kind of felt that might be going on with the whole no bail law. Glenn, you're the resident. What's the truth? Who's playing
Actually,
the
I
drum?
don't know a lot about this one.
Really?
Actually, I don't know a lot about the money bail law. The bill restricts the use of money and the payment of money as a condition of pretrial release. That's pretty much all I know about it. But Chris, you can probably break it down better.
Is it specified by violent crimes, Chris, or non-violent crimes? How does it work?
Well, I'll jump in on this one. So it's really not, people are calling it the purge law. It's not as bad as people won't be able to walk down the street and shoot you and get away with it. But it's much deeper than that. So it started off for a good reason. You know, there are a lot of people sitting in jail because they can't come up with the funds to get out. But the Safety Act, which is what it's called, does much more than that. So as a law enforcement officer, it's a little bit deeper than that. That is a 740 something page document. If you dig deep down into the bill, here's what it does and why you should actually have your concealed carry license. Let's forget about the no bail thing. Let's talk about what happens and how law enforcement officers are no longer allowed to respond to certain things at your home. Let's just say you have a non-violent intruder at your home. They can't give them a ticket. They can't make them leave because they are non-violent. So let's just say you go out on your porch and there's the neighborhood homeless man chilling on your porch. And you're trying to get the police officer to make him leave. He's non-violent. They can't make him leave. And here's why they won't, even if, you know, it's officer friendly, is now the other thing that the Safety Act does is that as a private citizen, you can file an anonymous complaint on any officer, and he's going to be removed from the job while they investigate it. So what does that do as far as our constitutional rights? Number one, we have a right to face our accuser, but this law takes that away. So what do you think the responding officer's response is going to be when he shows up to your house and there's no one there that's not violent? Don't get me wrong. They will. The police officers will still respond to violent crimes and threats as normal. The people who are supposed to stay in jail, if you were in jail for murder, you're not going to get out. But what it actually does for, you know, the police's ability to respond to nonviolent things, you are now going to be your first line of defense, and that is important.
Mel, you're a huge gun advocate. What do you think about the no bail law?
Well, the other part of it too is, you know, like Chris was talking about with people sitting in jail and not having the ability to pay. There were people that didn't have as major offenses as somebody who did murder or something like that. So this is really for the little guy more so.
Is that nonviolent crimes or just smaller?
Yeah,
crimes?
nonviolent crimes that still couldn't pay. So this is really helpful to a certain degree or extent when you look at the type of people who were locked up with no possibility of getting out until they had an arraignment or trial. So from that standpoint, it's good. I always believe that the first line of defense is your responsibility, because even if you call the police to your house, you know, even if there's a squad car in the area, it takes 30 seconds to 2 minutes for something to go freaking wrong.
You know, police are minutes away.
Yeah.
When seconds count, police are minutes away.
Exactly.
And how many horror stories have we heard that were? And I'm not taking a shot at the police. I'm just saying, how many horror stories have we heard or are connected to whatever that travel time, you know, amount to for the police to get to the scene, and it can lead to them misunderstanding what they're seeing, like the security
Mhm.
officer a couple of years ago out in the south suburbs at the club who was actually trying to help, and then they ended up murdering that dude.
Mhm.
Or the young lady whose her
I
son
know
or
that
grandson.
officer, by the way.
Say it again.
I know that guy, by the way.
Yeah. Or
Mhm.
the young lady whose son or grandson was a psych patient, and the police come up and they don't really have all the information, and they're kind of responding to what they think is going on. And
Mhm.
I mean, it's very tricky. Mel, you had the luxury, man. From what I'm understanding is it was indeed a luxury of taking Chris's class. I think. Can you tell us a
Yeah.
bit about
Yeah,
your
I already
experience?
had my license. I've had my license
Yeah.
for a while, so it wasn't a thing of where I needed to get my concealed carry license. But if I was gonna
Audited
sit,
my course.
you
Say
said
what,
what?
Chris?
He audited my course.
Of
I
course he
audited
did.
my
He's
course,
supposed to. Yeah.
right? Because if I'm sending people to it, I need to know. I
Yeah. For
need to
sure.
know that it's worth its salt. But yeah, it does a great job. I've taken the traditional class, and I mean he covers the stuff that the traditional class covers, but he goes above and beyond, and covers a lot of things that you don't get in a class where they just cover what the NRA, because that's what our concealed carry class is based off of, this NRA basic pistol class that they turned into a concealed carry class for Illinois. So he's going over that stuff, of course, because you have to. But then in addition to that, he's going over a lot of things, a lot of situational awareness, a lot of misnomers about firearms, proper grip, you know, um,
I saw
not
some
necessarily.
self-defense, close quarter self-defense stuff going on as well. I don't know if you did
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah. And it's not just concealed carry class. The most fun for me, at least, was the simulator, with all of these different scenarios, when to shoot, when not to shoot, stuff like that. So, there are a bunch of different classes. I'm waiting for the next one where you're actually, you mimic like you're sitting in a Starbucks, and then there's an active shooter that comes in and you don't know who it is. People are coming in and out. You don't know what's going on. You just there on your laptop working, and all of a sudden somebody comes in and they send the place up. And what do you do? How
That's
do you get out of there alive?
hey,
Right.
Chris, he mentioned the simulator. Tell us a little bit about that. Is that a virtual reality deal? What is the simulator?
Well, it's more than just like a video game. So basically, the simulator that we invested in it's called Milo Range. And if you look it up, you'll see that it is a simulator that is specifically geared to law enforcement agencies. As a matter of fact, when we purchased it, they didn't know how to sell it to us because they had never sold it to a civilian agency. I thought that it was important for my students to be able to have access to that because it teaches de-escalation techniques. Just because you have a firearm in your hand, it's not always about shoot or don't shoot. Sometimes it's about being able to talk the situation down. Just because you have the ability to take a life, just because you have the ability to beat someone up. I have 6-degree black belts in 4 forms of martial arts. I walk away from more fights than I actually get into. It's about restraint. And it's interesting to be able to take somebody and put them through my concealed carry class, put them through the law portion, and they literally just learned this minutes ago. And then we put them through the simulator and they make the wrong decision. And I say, now, if this was a real life situation, you'd be on your way to jail right now. Or you waited too long to use force because you're overthinking and now you're dead. So being able to provide civilians with the same level of training that our law enforcement officers are getting in the major metropolitan police departments. Chicago Police has one, LAPD has 3, New York has 2, and I have one. So, other law enforcement agencies around the country have them, but civilians don't get access to that level of training. With us, they do.
This is probably an odd question, man, but when you're training people and holding, doing classes, like because I have 15 years of hospital security in my background. We used to use a term called cowboy, which is basically the hothead machismo, person that, and oftentimes it's a guy who couldn't be on the police force because he couldn't pass the mental exam because of the cowboy stuff. But when you're training people, are you able to see the people that are more likely to misuse what they're learning, or the perceived power that they think they're getting, versus the people that are really looking to use it in a crisis situation?
Well, I'm able to obviously recognize certain traits and certain questions that lend themselves to that behavior. And the biggest thing that I impart with my students is that firearm does not give you magic powers. I'm not going to say the agency that I work for, but I work in law enforcement. The first thing that I realize is that that badge can get me into a lot more trouble than it can get me out of. B, I'm not bulletproof. I've been in 8 gunfights in my life. I've been shot 12 times. I know what happens in a gunfight. So because of that, I realize that anybody can get got at any time. You're not Superman. That gun doesn't give you magic powers. If you can walk away from a situation, walk away from it. And that's the biggest thing that I express to any of my students that come through my course. Now, don't get me wrong. If it's going to be me or you, it ain't going to be me. But I'm not out there looking for it. I'm not out looking to stop a crime. I'm not a vigilante. When I am not working, I'm not the police. I am a person who's walking around trying to go to Mariano's to get some salad. I am not trying to be involved in a situation.
Yeah, my heart goes out to guys like you in some circumstances, because it's how you make your living. One of the ways you make your living. And I'm sure there are times when this is somebody who's probably not going to utilize this information in the best way, but you still have to do your job and be thorough and hope that somehow they're touched in the midst of whatever might happen to them. And they don't misuse what they've been given in terms of self-defense and understanding and that kind of thing.
First and foremost, I have to understand my role as a Illinois concealed carry instructor. My job is not to be the gatekeeper of who gets a license and who doesn't. The state police runs that background check for the FOIA card and for the concealed carry. My job is to give them the best information possible and warn and admonish them about the things that they need to stay away from based on my experiences having been out there. The scary thing for me is I won't say the name, but if you have Google, you can figure it out. A Chicago alderman literally just shot themselves cleaning a firearm. What the news didn't publish, but the radio did, is that alderman was also a concealed carry instructor. The fact that the state allows basically anyone to be a concealed carry instructor with very little training, that's scary. I think that people need a lot more training. I've been doing this for 23 years. I've been shooting for over 30 years, and I get offended when people call themselves, concealed carry instructors, and they're also your barber or your DJ. Like you literally just started doing this. Like I got a problem with that.
Yeah, understood. Hey, we got about 10 minutes before we drop this gift / announcement on you that Chris has been so kind to bring to live from the cave. Glenn, Robert, you guys, Mill has chimed in a bit as a seasoned gun owner. You guys have any thoughts about what we've been talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I've been through concealed carry and got all my license and all that stuff. But I mean, I think it's important to be.
This wasn't the water gun course, right? This was.
Oh,
I know you did. I know you did the water gun.
You're so funny. You're so keep drinking. Yeah, put that up to your mouth so we don't have to hear you. There you go. Good job. Keep going. Repeat. No, I think safety is important first. And we had a really good instructor when I took the class, and she talked about some real life situations she got into where she had to really think twice about, okay, I got to make a split second decision on, do I use force or do I just walk away? And she talked about that a lot. She emphasized a lot because we had a couple of people in class that I don't want to be around them anytime soon because I know they're going to shoot somebody. You know, you got that one person in class, like, yeah, she gonna kill somebody. Might be somebody.
That was kind of my point when I was asking Chris that about the person you walk
well,
away.
Chris was nice about it because he's an instructor.
Student number 17 is an accident waiting to happen. Like this.
Chris had to give you the political answer.
I need people to actually take my course.
Yeah. He needs people to take his course. He only wants to think, but there's some hotheads, and you can tell. And you know, one woman had bought her gun before she ever took a class, so she was talking about the size of her gun and everything else without even probably knowing how to load it, shoot it, or do anything. So you got to be careful. And I grew up around it. I had family in law enforcement. Shot my first gun at like 13. Which was crazy, but in the South, that's what they do for New Year's. So
it was a super soaker.
There you go again, Sean.
It was the Red Rider from A Christmas Story.
I'm not even gonna ask why you have that.
Glenn's middle name is Ralphie.
I grew up shooting BB guns, so I get it.
So Glenn, let me jump in and springboard off of something that you said, because I think that it's very important at this point. So if you look at the news story from yesterday, the fact that they let anyone teach concealed carry, I think is a big contributor to this story, because listen, I'm a life member of the NRA. I'm an instructor that's certified to teach every discipline that the NRA teaches. But if your concealed carry instructor is teaching NRA curriculum, they are literally putting your lives in danger, and you're paying for the privilege of it. I will probably get my credentials snatched if the NRA ever hears this. But that leads to this story that was in the news yesterday. CBS 2 Chicago, woman shot and killed after having CCL weapons stolen on far south side. She was 22 years old. Someone shot her with her own weapon on the far south side Wednesday morning. The shooting happened in the 9400 block of South St. Lawrence at 4:21 a.m. She was inside of her residence. The problem with the training that is happening now is that people are putting out information. The NRA information is great, but it is meant for a different purpose. If you're trying to go do a shooting competition, that's exactly what you want. But if you are trying to learn how to survive a defensive situation, it's wrong, and it's putting your life in danger. And if more people realize that their NRA instructor had 2 days of training and did about 15 minutes of shooting, and they're paying them for the privilege of learning from them, that's a problem.
Agreed. Hey man, I wanna pop something else in before we announce Chris's special gift to the ladies of the show. We never talked about Wakanda Forever. And since it's a little old, we don't have to spend a whole lot of time on it, but because we have thespians, present, and avid movie watchers and lovers, I wanted to talk about it and see if anybody had any strong feelings about it before we move into Chris's gift. Anybody got anything want to say about Wakanda Forever?
Well, first, thank you, Sean, for recognizing my acting talents. I do appreciate that.
Yeah, wasn't talking about you. Go ahead.
You were talking about me? Oh, okay.
I was really talking about Mel and Chris with that dope intro when he was, walk through the smoke.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Chris will be right back. Hold on a second.
All right. I believe he's going to do something.
Is he going to? He probably going to get like a crown or something.
Right.
Get that damn. Get everybody get ready. I thought it was a great movie. Personally, yeah. I thought it was a great movie. For those of you that are mad because Black Panther wasn't in it, he wasn't supposed to be in it because he died. He died in the movie. So there's your spoiler. He's not coming back.
She's the Black Panther. Black Panther is
I said the Black Panther, the original. Chadwick.
The original was Bashinga. It wasn't
Mel,
even
get your okay, nerd.
Hundreds of years before.
Thank you, Marvel. Thank you, Marvel nerd. All right, thank you.
Okay, so I'm completely impartial.
I knew it. Completely. We're so glad you're completely impartial.
Yeah.
To the franchise or to the movie?
Yeah, that was totally based off a true story.
The franchise you're talking about, or the movie itself?
Hey, my flask is made of vibranium. Yeah.
Hey man, what I will say is that I learned that if you want to rock with something, as Robert and I say all the time, if you want to rock with something, you will find every reason you can to rock with it. And if you don't, you will find every reason you can not to. And so I felt like there were people that were just trying so hard for reasons to not rock with the movie. And I thought the movie was well done. I thought it did what it was supposed to do. It was a different movie. It was a different energy. There was a grieving and sorrowful theme, to this movie, down to the fact that I heard somebody say, how could she fight like that? I'm like, did you miss the scene where she uploaded his DNA? Like, are you watching the movie, or are you just that determined, to have a problem with it? Like, I just found it so fascinating. I thought it was a well done story. Amazingly, all these people that championed the story being so pro female 4 or 5 years ago when it came out, were missing the male energy suddenly. And I'm like, the first movie outside of Chadwick and M'Baku, the first movie was largely female energy.
All women, the Dora Milaje.
Yeah, it's like, what are you talking about? It's like people are just so full of it, man. And sometimes I just feel like I want to just say it and call them out, like, y'all are full of shit.
Well, I think people need something to talk about.
Huh? Yeah.
People, yeah.
Same people complained about Deion Sanders, didn't like Black Panther. You're in the same, you know who you are, you know what
right.
you did.
Right, got a problem with Deion, right?
Yeah,
Deion to live what he can do for his family and live his life because you want him to stay with the little school.
So now you want the women to be subservient and have a male Black Panther over them. That's what you need. You can't stand
on a little school bus.
Hey man, we running out of time. So Chris, hey man, share with the ladies of the viewing audience what you are doing for them in your own special way.
Well, actually, looking at the inboxes, I think I gotta open it up to all the viewers of the Man Cave. Listen, through the month of December,
put that code up, guys. Good, there you go. Mm-hmm.
If you go to my website and you put in code Man Cave, you're gonna get $25 off the cost of both courses. So we have 2 courses. If you already own a firearm and you take the class, the cost of the course is $300.
Glenn.
And that covers your class. It covers your fire. It covers the shooting. I provide the firearm. I provide the ammo. However, for $500 plus tax and FFL fees, you get the class and you get a concealed carry firearm, a 9mm or a 380. And before you ask what types of firearms, Ruger, Canik, Taurus, very good firearms that if you tried to get it in the store yourself, retail, you would walk away at $480 to $500. So you're getting about a $750 value for $500 plus taxes and FFL fees. That being said, if you are one of those people, I very rarely give shout outs to other instructors. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. That is politically incorrect. Bad. I was about to tell you where you get the class really cheap if you're only shopping on price. You're going to get the wrong information, and that's the only reason I'm not saying this instructor's name. However, through December 31st, if you put in code ManCave at checkout, you're going to get $25 off of the course. Do not hit me up on January 2nd saying the code don't work.
Right. Production team, is there a website too that you can share? Yeah,
there it is. Did Mel come to class with spandex and a cape? I just want to know. Just asking for a friend. I'm sure he did.
Power Ranger, you have your money.
No website on there. Raj, is there a website?
I'm sorry. The website is www.pptgchicago.com.
Raj has been slipping for a while.
Chicago.com. I know that I'm not coming before 12/31, but I'm going to take.
You know what? I'm glad that you said that, Sean. Mm-hmm. The code, it lasts through 12/31. However, you can book anywhere on the calendar out to 60 days and still get that price.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's
Okay.
great. That's good to know.
Schedule past 2 days. Have you looked at his photo shoot calendar? He don't know. He don't know what he's doing. Like, he doesn't know what he's doing Saturday. So him booking anything past.
I know exactly what I'm doing Saturday. Hey man, thank you, Chris, for using this platform, man, to not only bring the awareness that needs to be out there, but also for creating some deals and the encouragement of people pursuing that. And so, you know, we're appreciative of you bringing that to this platform, singling out our viewership as some people that can benefit from our exposure to you and your exposure to us.
Hey, thank you for having me. And I also want to thank Connie Kitchen. Hey, I saw your comment. Connie took my class. Denise Smile, she took my class. They both put up comments. So thank you guys for that. Yep. There she is again. Thanks, Connie. And
Connie out here supporting the people. She just hired me for a photography gig last weekend. She took your class. Connie need to loan me some money. She out here supporting the people.
Hey, Connie, look, I ain't gonna start nothing, but you know, I do photography too. I shoot on the 1DX Mark III. Anyway,
no, see that's
what happens. That's what happens when you try to overstep your bounds just a little bit.
Right. Because I sure can't get in on any of his money. Hope be shooting themselves in the ear and all kind of stuff. Hey man, love y'all. Y'all were awesome as always. Chris, don't leave. Meet us back in the green room. For all y'all who've been rocking with us for the last 3 years, one more time we say thank you. We'll see you again next Thursday, same place, same time. Until then, it's been live from the cave. We up.
Camped out at home for COVID? Join us, Indie TV, where you will see the talk shows, movies, drama, action, and comedy. Be the first and see it first. Sign up now for free at Indie TV.